How is it going over at your house?
Well, for as long as Carla and I have been married and been together, I've gotten up at 4 a.m. and had the house all to myself in the morning before I go to work. And it's
Yeah.
really weird to wake up and Carla's awake and Darby's awake and I'm feeling a little crowded. So I have a routine. It's very simple. I
Yeah.
get up, I make a cup of coffee, I hit the shower, I get ready, I do a little Bible study, I fix my lunch if I'm taking it, and then I leave the house and I head to work. Everything's great. Okay. It's a routine. It works out great. Well, that is no longer the deal. All of that worked great as long as Carla was asleep, but now Carla is awake. Okay. So Carla's coming up with all kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
Can we have coffee on the deck in the morning when it's cool?
Yeah.
Can we make a special breakfast?
The show starts before sunrise. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's
It's going to be cold.
So
bring a
then
flashlight.
She decides since we're together all the time now, maybe we could do like a workout. And I'm like, I didn't realize that after leaving Budweiser, things were going to be quite like this. So really, if I didn't have this job right now, I would be in trouble. So yesterday after
Lamar,
the show,
can I just jump in and point out you've spent your whole life getting up at 4:00 in the morning. Now with this job, you can sleep till 5, and you're still getting up at 4 to go work out and drink coffee.
Well, that's her whole point. I'm already used to it,
Yeah.
So yesterday after the show, we pull up this workout video and we do the warm up. And then we start the actual workout. And I'm doing pretty good, okay? Until I put both hands over my head. I lean back as far as I can. Then I go forward, bending over, hands and head going between my legs and reaching as far back as I can.
Oh, yeah.
Then I go back to the starting position, and all of a sudden, I've got this thing in my back. I mean, it says stop. My back says stop. I'm putting a stop to every bit of this craziness. So I wind up laying on the floor on my back with an ice pack for the rest of the afternoon. I've had my naproxen and, I've got this ice pack. And in fact, to tell you the truth, I still got an ice pack right now where I'm sitting in the chair. Listen, I don't know if I'm going to survive all this togetherness. There's a lot of togetherness. There's a lot.
I just think some of us, mostly men, if you find yourself with your head between your legs looking up,
it never goes well.
It never goes well.
It never goes well. It ends with either ibuprofen or a mugshot. I mean, it just doesn't go well. Lamar, the one thing we can hope is the novelty will wear off, because I can tell you that if Mr. Kevin hears me coming, I hear a door close and he gets out of the way. Like, he just doesn't want to know it. He doesn't want to hear about it until I'm done for the day. Maybe the novelty will wear off.
I do understand. I talk to a lot of people that have changed their jobs or whatever, and they're at home. And they seem to do a lot of stuff outside. Maybe this is where this whole gardening thing came from. Maybe this is why people want to go out and plant some flowers or dig a hole and then cover that hole up and dig another hole. What are you doing? I'm digging a hole.
Yeah, that's right.
When are you going to be through? Won't be long.
Yeah. Whenever it's done, I'll be through.
You can't rush the hole. You got to dig the hole correctly,
This summer, I planted 15 flower bushes. 15. So I'm that guy. I have to get out of the house.
It's for the best.
It is.
Because it's a weird thing, because Bob, that she loves you.
Right.
But you need to get gone sometimes.
Yeah. Do you think I'm like a chocolate tort, It's it's so rich.
It's so rich and satisfying, but you don't want it every minute of every day.
You can't have it wouldn't be good for you. But you still want it.
A lot of me goes a long way. Goes a long way.
The human tort. That's me.
Sign up for our newsletter. We never spam you.
Never did.
Get Bob and Sheri exclusives. Just go to bobandsheri.com.
I found some posts that people did about food that they had as a kid. And some of them remember it with, a loving memory. And some of them, if they think about the food they ate as a kid, want to just throw up. So I'm wondering what Lamar is going to say about a few of these things and see if he can add to it too. The first person said, all food. It wasn't until I was a young adult that I discovered that food could be good. My mother would buy a nice premium cut of beef, like a tenderloin, and fry it in the frying pan for a solid 30 minutes, and then add ample water and boil it until it was well and truly inedible. I grew up thinking eating was a chore. How
I know a lot
horrible
of
is
people
that?
like that, actually, do.
Really?
Really?
The
Yeah.
boiling? The boiling of meat?
Not the
Of steak?
boiling, the eating up being a chore because it just wasn't good. What's all this excitement about food? Like it's just not good.
Yeah.
See, my problem was everything that my mom cooked was awesome. So,
What was that, right?
yes, my
Yeah.
mom didn't cook anything bad. And I mean,
Well, she probably was not cooking for this house. This person says, what I recall, tuna sandwiches and boiled chicken. My younger sister was a very picky eater for a long time, relied on these as protein staples. The stench of boiled chicken was constant in our home. As soon as the sulfur odor had faded from one chicken, it was time to boil another chicken. This went on for about 5 years. One day when I was 14, after a solid 3 months of tuna sandwiches for lunch and often dinner, I burst into tears and pleaded to eat something, anything else. My mom knew I was an adventurous eater that liked just about everything, but to make things easier, she fed me my sister's extremely limited diet. 30 years later, I cannot stand the smell of boiled chicken.
see, you had a term in that story right there that is unfamiliar to me. When I was a kid, if you would have said something about picky eater, I don't know what you're talking about unless you're picking something up off the ground, because my mom cooked the food and she set it on the table. Now, if it wasn't what you wanted, that's sad, but that's what's out there. So
Yeah.
if you want to go a day without eating, that's your business. I mean,
Right.
there
Well,
is no,
Yeah.
that whole picky eater thing, that doesn't
Right.
work out. I mean, no.
It was like Max's dad said about feeding dogs. They'll go by it sometimes. They don't like what you're giving them, but if they get hungry enough, they're going to eat it.
They're going to
And
eat
that's-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you're talking
yeah.
about. Now,
We had
this one is-
variety and stuff. So, but
right. This one is very sweet. This person said, my great-grandmother was pure Sicilian and would make the absolute best pizza every time I visited her. She made everything but the cheese from scratch. Even the sauce came straight from tomatoes grown in her garden. I have yet to find anyone who can make a pizza as good as hers. Would that not be great to have a grandmother
Yes.
doing that?
yes.
Man, that would be fantastic. I was raised in a cult that believed each family should keep a year's supply of food on hand. As such, most of our meals were from cans. The worst was the canned carrots. They were salty and had a strange smell and had the consistency of baby food. We had them 3 times a week, and I was not allowed to leave the table until I finished everything on my plate. There were times I didn't get to go to bed till midnight because I was trying to chew those carrots down. To this day, I cannot stand cooked carrots. That's bordering really almost on child abuse, don't you think?
I can't even imagine this. I can't. I mean, these are people that can't look forward to dinner.
Right.
Listen,
Exactly.
as I'm eating breakfast, I got a mouthful of grits and toast and eggs, and I'm going, "What are we having for dinner?"
I
I
know.
want to plan ahead. I want to know what's coming so I can get excited about it.
That is so American Italian. I was reading about that the other day. American Italians will sit down for lunch and they'll be talking about what's coming up for dinner. That is so.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll be having a holiday dinner and discussing previous holiday dinners and also what will be left over for tomorrow. Yeah, Lamar, you would have been a good paisan.
That's right. We
yes,
were luckier
yes.
than we thought. Listen to this person. Beans. My mother's beans were always hard. Worst was rice and beans. First time I had soft beans, I was shocked.
Doesn't it depend on the kind of beans? I mean, some beans have to be
guess it
soaked.
would.
Well, if they're dried beans, they have to be soaked. Yes. Beans are not crunchy. They're not
No, they
supposed
should
to
not be.
crunchy.
No. Listen to this one. Now, I feel because, there are times in our lives where our families did not have very much, and this person is recalling that. And he said, I don't even like to think about this. Beef stroganoff with hamburger helper.
Yes.
I grew up with a mom who made this often, and now the smell of it makes my stomach want to turn.
Okay, are you telling me people without money had hamburger helper? I mean,
That
that
was the
was the
purpose.
treat.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
oh
was
my
a
God,
treat for you?
God, listen. I like the stroganoff, but my favorite hamburger helper was rice oriental. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. I was in charge of cooking the hamburger helper. Yeah, oh yeah.
What's in helper
Rice oriental?
rice? Yeah.
Well, it's like a rice dish, sort of a
Yeah.
Japanese flavor to it, but it still
Uh-huh.
has hamburger meat. Everything's hamburger meat. Man, it was so good. They discontinued rice oriental, and I don't really understand that. But
It sounds
My
good to me.
mom-
Yeah, I'd eat
My
that.
mom, who is such a good cook now, not so much when we were little. And now I understand it was because she was not only making no effort, she was actively trying to murder my father. She went through a brief.
It's Bob and Sheri.
So off air during a break, Lamar was telling us about this thing that he goes to in Alabama. It's some sort of like giant, like swapping, trading yard sale thing. And he's like, you can buy anything. You can buy an anvil, you can buy a tractor, you can buy boots, you can buy ceramic cats. And then he started, and he was all excited. You know how Lamar is. He's like excited about life, right? But then he starts telling me about some of the snacks you can buy there. And his voice slowed down. And he was talking, y'all, he was talking about a corn dog. It was the most boom chicka wow description of a corn
Of a
dog.
corn dog?
Yes. So Lamar, just go ahead and live your whole life and tell everybody about. First of all, tell them what this thing is called, and then I want the world to know about this corn dog.
it's called Trade Day in Alabama. And it's out in the middle of the country, and there's a few acres, and there's probably on a good day, there's 3,000 to 4,000 people just shopping. And they've got every possible thing. And they've got some different restaurants and stuff, but they've got this one place that does corn dogs. Now, they got a couple of other corn dog places, but they've got one that's been there the whole time. And it's the one that everybody goes to. And people line up. You'll be 30 or 40 people deep to get in there and get one of these corn dogs. And I'm talking about they take a really good weenie and they put a long stick there and they dip it down in the cornmeal. And when that thing comes out frozen, it's as big as the end of a baseball bat. And you're holding it on that little stick, and that thing is humongous. And they ask you what you want on it. And if you want mustard and ketchup, they'll coat one side with ketchup and one side with mustard. It is the most unbelievable corn dog that has ever been made. It has made this place famous. I swear people go there just for the corn dog.
Guys,
Unbelievable.
he's telling me about this corn dog, and his voice is getting slower and deeper. And he's like, and then he goes like this. He goes, it's like the size of the end of a baseball bat. Hey, buy me a drink first.
How good is the meat itself, though?
He said it was a good
It's a
quality
high quality
weenie.
corn. It's a good
Really?
quality. Yes, hot dog. They not put no jack leg hot dog in there. This is a real thing. Man, what are you talking about?
Jack leg hot.
What is a jack leg hot dog? That's a new term.
It'd be an off-brand. It'd be an off-brand. One of them red
Let me-
weenie things. Nobody eats that. No.
Let me tell you what a jack leg hot dog is. It's the name of my new band. We have an EP coming out in a week. Jack leg hot dog is such a great band name.